Good evening, everyone. So, we are back again with a new chapter, that is chapter number 3, which is technological aspects of embedded system. Throughout the chapter number 1 and chapter number 2, we have seen everything to the basics of all the things required, what right from the characteristics, or right from what do you mean by embedded systems, characteristics of the embedded systems, and all the things required for the chapter number 1, all the basic things we have seen. And similarly, in the chapter number 2, we have seen the designing part for the embedded systems, or the designing of the components of the embedded systems, like from the memories we have seen the examples, we have seen the different kinds of processors, microcontroller, and rest all things. So now today in this chapter number 3, we are going to see something, the technological aspects of embedded systems. Now technological aspects means what? The technological aspects is nothing but the components whichever you are going to use to mount, or whatever the components you are going to mount on that chip, or to get the particular output we are going to see in this particular technological aspects. Then you can we are going to see the parts like A to D converter, or the interfacing part of the analog and digital blocks. We are going to see the signal conditionings. We are going to see likewise the variety of things into this chapter number 3. Okay, so let us begin this chapter. So now the first point of the chapter, we are going to see the interfacing of the analog and digital blocks. Now we know the interfacing of digital and analog. Now what do you mean by interfacing? Basically, let us know what is the interfacing means what. Now interfacing is nothing but whenever the two components you are going to connect, whenever the two devices you are going to connect, the link between the two devices is nothing but called as interfacing. Now likewise, this interfacing we are going to divide it into two. Analog can be converted to digital, and the digital can be converted to analog, right? So we know that A to D converter is possible, and digital to analog converter is also possible. So in most of the cases in this 8255, now 8255 is a microcontroller where we are going to use the interfacing part for the analog as well as for the, sorry, it is a microprocessor in which we are going to use for the analog as well as the digital converters for the microprocessors. So the analog and the digital converter is treated as an input device, right? So where the signal we want as an analog, we need to give the analog signal as an input, we need to convert that in the digital, and finally at the end we are again going to add D to A converter, that is digital to analog, and then we are going to take the analog signal at the output. Similarly, the analog to digital converter is treated as an input device by the microprocessor that sends the initializing signals to ADC, that is analog to digital converter, to start the analogy of the digital data conversion process, right? Now what the word analog to digital converter means, that analog signal whatever you are going to take as an information signal you are going to take, is it not? That is nothing but as an input signal we are going to give. So as an input signal we are going to provide the input to the ADC and start the digital conversion process. So the start of the conversion signal is a pulse of a specific duration. Now the process of analog to digital conversion is a slow process, right? And the microprocessor has to wait for the digital data until the conversion is over. Now what we are going to do, when we are going to give the input to the microprocessor, first we need to give an input to the digital signals to the microprocessor, is it not? So to converting that input signal to the digital, we are going to use the analog to digital converter. So the input signals are applied to the ADC, and the microprocessor is going to wait unless and until the analog is converted into the digital, as the process is very slow from analog to digital conversion. So after the conversion is over, now once the conversion is over, the ADC sends, now what the ADC do, the ADC sends the conversion, that EOC. EOC is nothing but end of the conversion signal, to inform the microprocessor that the conversion is over and the result is ready. at the output buffer of the ADC. Okay, now start of the conversion and end of the conversion, these are the two processes. Now when we are going to convert a analog signal to digital, then SOC signal is being used and the microprocessor has to wait till then, and once the output signal is ready in the digital form, the ADC is going to send the EOC signal, that is end of conversion signal, and it is going to inform microprocessor that the signal is ready at my output buffer of the ADC. Okay, so this task of issuing the SOC pulse to the ADC, reading the EOC signal from the ADC and reading the digital output of the ADC are carried out by the CPU using 8255 input output ports. Okay, what the thing is going to do, that what the CPU is going to read, SOC signal it is going to read, EOC signal it is going to read, and also the output which is already available in the buffer, and that has to be carried out to the microprocessor, and all these things is carried out by the CPU using 8255 microprocessor input output ports. Now let us see in detail about this. So the time taken by the ADC from the active edge of SOC pulse till the active edge of the EOC signal is called as the conversion delay of the ADC. Now we know whenever we are going to apply analog to digital signals, or whenever we are going to convert digital to analog signals, there should be a delay converted. Why? Because end of signal and start of signal, there is some distance between it, is it not? So we need to provide some delay for this active edge till the EOC of the active signals. So this range may vary from few milliseconds or few microseconds. In case of fast ADC, if suppose if we are going to use some fast ADCs, even few 100 milliseconds in the case of slow ADCs. Whenever there are two cases, ADCs are faster and ADCs are slower. So whenever you are going to use slow process ADCs, then even 100 millis of seconds are required for this conversion, or the delay time is extended. But few microseconds are also enough if we are going to use the faster ADCs. So the ADCs available in the market nowadays use the different conversion techniques, from conversion of analog signal to digital signal. So depend which kind of or which manufacturer is used this ADC signals and what all things are being done. So the successive approximation techniques and the dual slope integration techniques are the most popular techniques used for the integrated ADC chips. So we are going to see the general algorithm for the ADC interfacing, which is going to contain some following steps. So let us see this process. Now first one we are going to see is the ensure the stability of the analog input applied to the ADC. Now the stability of the analog input is nothing but the ADC signal has to continuously pass through the continuously the input signal has to be applied to the ADC, right? There should be some stability for the input signal. Second, issue the start of the conversion pulse to ADC. Once the input signal is continuously been applied, then the SOC signal has to be passed to ADC so that start off for the conversion process. Then once the conversion is completed, then the EOC signal has to be marked at the end for the conversion process. And finally, the whatever the output process is converted into the digital, the reads digital data output of this ADC has equivalent to the digital output. So these are some following steps where the algorithm ADC is required for the interfacing purpose. So as the analog input voltage must be always constant, so we should know what is the following step to do while the conversion process. We need to know that the analog input voltage must always be constant at the input of the ADC right from start of the conversion till end of the conversion for to get the correct result. Output voltage is the main parameter when it is required to design the embedded or any application. Why? Because whenever the output voltage is constant, you are going to get the accurate result at the output. If it is always fluctuating, it is somewhat going to get error into the main system, so that you are not going to get the correct output. So if you want to get the correct result, starting from the end of the signal, starting from start of the conversion till end of the conversion, the voltage of the input signal should always be constant. And second thing, we need to know that this may be ensured that by the sample and hold circuits, which samples the analog signals and hold its constant for the specific time duration. We have seen this analog, or we have seen this, what do you mean by sample and hold circuits. So with the help of this sample and hold circuits, we can maintain the voltages, and we can hold the time period for the duration of whatever the signals are being transmitted. So next is the microprocessor may issue a hold signal to the sample and hold circuit. If the applied input changes before the complete conversion process is over, then the digital equivalent of the analog input calculated by the ADC will not be correct. So this is the main important point required. What it says that if the input voltage is automatically, if the suppose the output voltage is fluctuated before end of the conversion of the signal, then you are not going to get the correct output of the ADC. So it is said at the starting only that the voltage must be constant starting from the start of the conversion till end of the conversion process. So the ADCs whatever we are going to see is 0808 and 0809. So these are the two types of ADCs whichever we are going to use for the analog to digital converter. So the analog to digital converter chips, that is 0808 and 0809, are the 8-bit CMOS successive approximation converter. As we have seen earlier, there are two types where it is successive approximation technique, and here you can see I have told you already the successive approximation technique, and the second one is the dual slope integration techniques. So before, for this ADC we are 8080 or 8089, we are going to see the successive approximation type techniques. So let us see in detail about this. So this technique, that is the successive approximation technique, is one of the fastest technique for ADC to convert the analog to digital signals. So the conversion delay which is required for this is the 100 microseconds at a clock frequency of 640 kilohertz, which is quite slow as compared to that of the another converters. So these converters do not need any external zero or full scale adjustment, as they are already taken care by the internal circuits. So there are some features, or this is the fastest technique for the successive integration, where already the internal care is taken according to the system used. So that according to the clock pulse and according to the clock frequency, that much amount of delay is required, and which is quite slow as compared to other. Next is, this converter internally has 3:8 analog multiplexer, so that the time 8 different analog conversions by using the address lines. So whenever we are going to use this ADC, this has the internally converter process which is been used the multiplexer 3:8, which is the 8 times different analog conversions by using the address lines. So what are the address lines used? Address A, address B and address C. These are the three address lines which are used for the multiplexers. So using this address inputs, the multiple channel acquisition system multiple data acquisition system can be designed using the single ADC. Therefore, the CPU may drive these lines using the output port lines in the case of multi-channel applications. Whenever you are going to get the multi-channel application at the output, for example, you need to sense the temperature, you need to check the humidity, you need to check the soil temperature or whatever. If one or the multiple applications in one project you need to know, that time this CPU may use the multiple channel data acquisition, so that there is the conversion for analog to digital purpose. So suppose this is in the case of multi-channel. Now if you want to take only a single input application, this may be the hardware to select the proper input. Now you need to check, or you need to select the proper input in the case of only one application at the output. So there are unipolar analog to digital converter, that is they are able to convert only one positive analog input voltage to the digital equivalent, and these chips do not contain any internal sample and hold circuit. topics. So what this thing is, whenever you want to take the multiple output at the receiver side, then you can use the multiple data acquisition system, which is internally accredited for the sample and hold circuit. But suppose in this is not the case, where you need to know all the time take the multiple outputs simultaneously. You can take only one output, or for one application you can design the this embedded. So where the case is to design only one single application, you can use the unipolar analog to digital converter, where at a time it is going to convert only one positive analog signal input voltage to their equivalent digital signals. And this unipolar converter does not contain any sample and hold circuit in it. So here you can see, as I have told you all, there are the three address lines we are going to take. So if we are going to take the input port 0, these are the analog input ports selected. As I told you, 8255 we are going to merge with, or we are going to interface with the 8255 microprocessor, where we are going to select the input ports with the help of the CPU. So there are the total 7 input ports. Through that 7 input ports, P0 input port is going to have 3 bits 000, 1 is going to have 001, 2 is going to have, if you are going to select 2, then the address line will be like 010, 3 will be having 011, if 4 is been selected, then 100, if 5 has been selected, 101, simultaneously if 6, 110, and if 7, it is all the address line has to be get enabled or active high, that is 111. So this is nothing but the address lines procedure, where you are going to use for the different kinds of ports 0 to port 7. Now next we are going to see, if one needs a sample and hold circuit. Suppose if there is one need to have sample and hold circuit for the conversion of fast signal into equivalent digital quantities, it can be externally connected to the analog inputs. For that, what you need to know, we need to connect the VCC for the plus 5 volt supply, ground is required for that, then the V reference, that is reference voltage positive V reference and minus reference negative, reference voltage negative V0, that is volt minimum is required, and maximum 5 volt positive supply is required. Now here you can know input 0 to input 7 are the analog inputs. As we have seen, address ABC is required for the addressing line to select the analog inputs. O0 to O7 is required the digital 8-bit output with 07 MSB, and 08 is the LSB, that is the most significant bit and the least significant bit. What is SOC? SOC is nothing but start of the signal pin, and EOC is the end of the conversion of the signal pin. And the OE, what do you mean by OE? OE is nothing but the output latch enable pin. If it is high, then the output is enabled. And what is the clock? Clock is nothing but the clock input, whatever it is required according to the clock frequency for the ADC. So these are the short forms required for these kinds of signals. Now here you can see the pin diagram for ADC 8080 or 8089. So these are the input pins where we are going to apply. These are the analog inputs. These are also the analog inputs starting from 0, 1, 2 to the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the analog inputs. SOC is, as I told you, SOC is nothing but the start of conversion. EOC is the end of conversion. Output control block, then clock, VCC plus reference ground, and then the reference pin. And these are the ALE. ALE is nothing but the enable pin, and here it is the address line where we are going to use. Now here you can see the block diagram for the conversion process for the ADC. So here is the 8-channel multiplexing analog switches are being used, where the input 0 to 7 are being applied simultaneously to work this multiplexing 3 raised to 8. And now according to the application that can be used, or whatever the type of converter you are using, successive, or you are going to use some other type, or unipolar, whatever it is. So depending upon that, the analog switches are being used. So the address latch and the decoder are being used. This address latches and decoder is nothing but 3 address lines has been given, and one is the enable pin. So it has been connected, it is interfaces to this multiplexing, and with the help of this comparator we are going to apply to the control and timing. Now this control and timing signal is been given with the help of the clock pulses and SOC. One clock pulse has been started, simultaneously the SOC is started, the conversion is been given, it has been given to the approximation for the register, and once the conversion is given, the end of the pulse is also been given at the output end, and the same signal is been given again to the successive approximation register. Output of this comparator is given to successive approximation, and after the comparator it is going to give to the switch tree where the signal is been given out. So this approximations is been given to the try output buffer where you are going to get the EOC over the buffer outputs, and you are going to get the digital signal over here D0 to D7. And here is the 256 bin register ladder where we are going to give the input VCC, then to switch tree. From switch tree we are going to get the output over here where we are also applied the OE, that is the output enable pin, from the LSD to MSD, least significant digit to the most significant digit, which is output we are going to get. These are the input signals, and finally at the output buffer we are going to get the digital signals. So this is how the ADC is going to work, 0808 or 0809. Now here you can see the timing diagram of the ADC. As I told you all, once the clock pulses has been applied, with respect to that clock pulse, the start signal, that is the SOC, is been applied. So starting with this, then from this cycle, the when this clock signal is positive, that immediately SOC signal is been applied. Till here we have hold those signals, and the end of this cycle, one positive cycle, the SOC signal is also ended, and simultaneously it has been enabled. When ALE is started, the start pulse is going on, and when start is going on, the ALE is been going. So simultaneously it is going to go hand in hand. Then after the conversion of this, EOC is going to end, and it is for the number of cycle it is going to wait, and after that the OE is going to get enabled again, and the output signal at the buffer you are going to get the ADC signals, which has been converted into the digital signals. Now suppose for an example, let us see one example over here. Now suppose the one example has been given to you all, interfacing the ADC 8080 with the 80 microprocessor using 8255 ports. So use port A for 8255 for the transferring digital data of the ADC to CPU. Port C is being used for the controlling signals. Assume that the analog input present at the input port 2 of the ADC and the clock input of the suitable frequency is available for ADC. Now what we need to do in this, using this port 2 we are going to get the conversion for the analog to digital. Now the input pin, where the input pin is used for, there we are going to give the address line ABC. Now the input port 2 it has been given. Now input port 2 means obviously we are going to give 0, 1, 0 respectively to select this port 2. The OAE, that is the output enable pin, and the ALE pins are already kept at plus 5 volt of the ADC and the enable of the output. So the port C of the upper acts as the input port to the EOC signal, while port C as the lower acts as the output port for to send the SOC to the ADC. Now in the figure here you can see port A acts as 8-bit output data port to the receive the digital signal data output from the ADC, and the 8255 controls the word is written as follows. Now as we are going to get, there are the following, that is D0 to D7, the digital outputs we are going to take, and respectively this is the data, that is 1001, 1000. So this is the digital output required for that signals. Now we need to write the algorithm for that. Now what you are going to write for that? First we need to initialize the 8255 ports. Okay, for that initializing purpose, what we need to do, move the AL, move into the AL. That we first we need to initialize the data. Then we are going to out the CWR in sequence for this AL. Then finally we are going to select the port 0. Select port 0 as an analog input. So by that we are, whatever the contents, we are going to move it in AL register, so that the output port B is been selected at the input. Then what we are going to do, we are going to start the conversion. Now the conversion is started, all the data is in ALI, that is 00H has been given. Then the data we need to take out at the port C, that is the pulse of the ADC we need to start. Now when the 00 is coming to 01H, we need to know that at the output of the port C, all the data of is going to be added once the data has been started to the conversion process. And finally at the output of port C AL we need to check. Okay, and finally when the data has been converted, we need to know, we need to wait until the in AL port C check for the EOC signal. by reading the upper port C, that is we need to rotate the right register every time, and then we finally going to JNC, we are going to wait. Wait means we are going to jump over here and here unless and until the rotating through the carry is not done. So once the rotating through the carry is done, then we are going to wait, and once it is wait means wait, here it has been done, we are going to check whether the end of signal is been done or no. And if the port A, then what we are going to go into the port A, in port A, to check if the EOC is the digital ready pin is the equivalent or no, and then finally we need to halt is nothing but we need to stop. Once the EOC signal is read, then we are going to stop. So this is the algorithm where we are going to write the program so that the end of the conversion of the process is going to end, and finally we are going to receive the digital signals. So here you can see the conversion interfacing of 8080 with 8086. As I told you, this is the 80, we are going to interface with 8255. This is the output pin 0 to 07. We are going to port, we have given to port A to port 7 analog inputs. PC0 and PC0 is connected to SOC of the ADC, and from the ADC we are going to get the end of the signal to this, and then finally port B0, B1 and B2 are connected to A, B and C for the address lines. Reset is been given, read and write, input output read, input output write has been enabled, and these are A1 and A2 input and output, and finally D0 to D7 is what we are going to take the digital outputs. And this is the analog input given to ADC, clock up is given to ADC, and 5 reference volt is been given, -5 and +5 VCC. So now what we have seen till here is the analog to digital conversion. Now we are going to see interfacing with digital to analog converter. So the digital to analog converter is nothing but, now what we are going to do, we are going to give input as the binary number, that is the digital numbers, to convert that binary into the equivalent voltage, that is nothing but the equivalent input signals we are going to give, that is into the analog signals. So the DAC, that is nothing but the digital to analog converter, find the applications in the areas like digitally controlled gains, motor speed controllers, programmable gain amplifiers, etc. So for this AD we are going to use the AD7523 8-bit multiplying DAC. So this is for that analog to digital we were using 0808 and 0809, but for this digital to analog converter we are going to use AD7523 8-bit multiplying digital to analog converter. This is the 16-pin DIP package where the multiplying digital to analog converter we are going to use the containing the procedure to convert is R to R ladder for D to A conversion, along with a single pole or double pole thrown NMOS switches has been connected to the digital input to the ladder, so that the digital to analog converter has been given out. So here you can see the 12-pin output for the AD7523, where the output pin is given. This is the ground, most significant bit B1 to the, here is the least significant bit not connected, here plus VCC plus V reference, and finally the reference. So this is the pin diagram for AD7523. So here you can see the ladder diagram where these registers are connected in parallel, and is series R2 and R series and parallel connection is given, and where we are going to use a comparator for this feedback register RF is equal to 2R, and then finally we are going to get out the V out over here. So that D0, D1, D2 and D3 are the inputs which are connected R1 to 2R register over here. So totally 8 registers we are going to connect in series and parallel connection. So this pin diagram of 8083 shown in the figure, which is the supply range for 5 volt to plus 15 volt, where the V reference may be minus 10 volt to plus 10 volt, and the maximum analog output voltage will be anywhere between minus 10 volt to 10 volt, where all the digital input are logic high state. Okay, so whenever you are going to use plus 5 volt to plus 15 volt, or every time there is a logic state high. Usually there is a Zener diode used for the connection between the out 1 to out 2 to save the DAC from the negative statement, that is the negative transients. Now whenever you are going to use the Zener diode, means this Zener diode is having the property of going into the negative state, negative transitions. So to avoid that negative transients, we are going to use this output in between out 1 and out 2. So the operational amplifier, that is the op-amp, as an amplifier is used as a current to voltage converter at the output of A to D convert, and the current output to the AD to the proportional output voltage. So the op-amp we are going to use for the conversion purpose for the analog to, sorry, for digital to analog at the proper proportional output voltage. So again it is also offer, now this is AD7523 also offers some additional drive capability for the DAC output. An external feedback register, as I told you, showed you in this diagram, an external feedback register. This is the feedback register, RF is equal to 2R. That feedback register is used to control the gain, and one may not connect this external feedback register if no gain control is required. So why we are going to connect the feedback register? Of course, to get the output gain at the receiver side, to control the gain for the signals, and if it is not required, if you need not need to control the gain. Now here also we are going to see one example interfacing of DAC 8528086 with the CPU running of 8 megahertz, and write an assembly language program. ALP is nothing but assembly language program to generate a sawtooth waveform to a program of 1 millisecond with maximum volt of 5 volt. Now we are going to see the figure over here where we have been interfacing the circuit with AD7423 with 8086 using 8255 ports, which is the program gives an assembly language program to generate the sawtooth waveform. Now this is the code where we are going to take start of this signal, make first we need to make all the output ports as an output, so make it at 80H. So we need to out the CWAL. Now write the main voltage start for the ramp. So move the 00 content into the AL. Now get the back. Now get the output for the PA into the AL port. Now increment is been done for this AL register. Now come back to the AL so that the output is 0 FFH. Now finally 0 HHH to 0 FFH, we need to continuously check whether the output is getting